Do you crave intercourse or cuddling? Are you satisfied after 1 or 2 orgasms? Or do you want more? I want as many as I can possibly have before my neck breaks.
What up, you little fuck?
Okay guys, I'm doing something really fucking stupid right now. We have an emergency debrief situation. Hi, this is Hallie from the streets of New York. Guys, I had every intention of staying in last night. Okay guys, welcome back to Extra Dirty. I am here, your host Hallie. I'm doing a fucking solo today. Kind of stressed out about that, but we're gonna yap. We're gonna yap into fruition and see where we fucking land with it, because God knows what. And at the end of this episode, I will be answering your guys' questions. I get so many of those either in my DMs or on the Extra Dirty Accounts DMs. We're going to be going through all those today in the end of this episode. So let's have a little fun with that too. I think I want to begin this episode a little differently than we typically start. Production handed me this Cosmo article on vintage sex tips, like sex tips from like the olden days, and I'm kind of curious to go through those and react to them. I haven't even looked at them yet, to be honest, but I don't know how you can like really switch up that much. I feel like before I look at this article, I want to think about like what would be a major difference between sex now and sex back in the 1960s. Besides the fact that like I feel like women are a little more girl boss than they used to probably be back then, so maybe we're on top more, but I really don't know how much we could have switched up besides like the introduction of vibrators, lube. I don't know. We're going to see. We're going to find out. Interesting. Wait. So the article reads 8 hilarious vintage Cosmo sex tips that are actually genius. But like, what makes a sex tip vintage? Like a blowjob's a blowjob.
Yeah. The article was published in 2014.
Okay.
But it's even vintage from then.
Like 2014's vintage.
Vintage already.
Okay. This one reads, don't worry if he takes a long time to climax. Take comfort, and then if your man is slow to lust, the problem lies in his humanitary, not the lack of femininity. Only robots and batteries are ever ready. Give it time. The more he knows about you, the less fearful fantasies will run wild. That's like Shakespearean. Like that, it sounds like a poem to me. How old are these tips?
It didn't specify exactly. It just said vintage.
Okay. I mean, okay, don't worry if he takes a long time to finish. I like don't think that's a bad thing in my opinion. I feel like you want someone to like take a while to finish. I think it's a problem if he's finishing too quickly, right? I could see maybe the point of view of thinking if a guy's taking too long to finish that maybe you think he's like not into it or not interested in you. But I think the complete opposite. Maybe he's a giver. Maybe he wants you to finish first, because it does take girls longer to finish than guys in my experience. And I would say I'm pretty experienced. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that, I don't know what she's talking about, robots and batteries.
Description's really confusing.
Okay, let's go on to the next one. The second one is when to say no. And the description is, unless you feel an overwhelming urge to jump on someone, say no. I don't agree with that. Avoid mercy fucking, as he'll probably come back for more. Never feel obligated. Sex is no way to say goodnight or thanks. Okay, but like this description here is basically saying go against your urges because you want a guy to come back for more. I get the whole, it's like an old saying. It's like a guy's not gonna like buy the cow if he can get the milk for free, and like you should like make a guy wait and like wait to the 3rd date or wait to the 4th, whatever. I don't believe in any of that shit. I know a lot of people that are in very successful relationships that fucked on the first 30 minutes of them meeting, and they had a long and successful relationship. I remember my ex-boyfriend, within the first 30 minutes of meeting him at a frat party, you know, I was swinging from a chandelier. I don't think that stuff, and we dated for 2.5 years after that. I really don't think any of that other stuff matters. I think you should follow your urges, unless he's a fucking loser. I mean, you should never feel like you have to have sex with someone in order to like end a night. Like you should be able to know how to say no, but I don't think it's when to say no. I think it's knowing how to say no, because I feel like some people have an issue with that. Just kind of, I feel you got to find your your own boundaries. But I don't think your boundaries should be everyone else's boundaries, if that makes any sense. Like if you feel like it's right and in the moment to sleep with someone on the first date, I say go for it. I don't think it's that deep at all. But if you don't feel like you want to, or you're not ready to, don't feel like you have to just because this guy like bought you dinner or drove you home or got you an Uber, blah, 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 X, Y, and Z. Don't feel like you have to thank him with a sucky McGee. I don't believe in that either. Like you can say no, and I don't know if that will prompt him to like want to date you. I don't think I think it's all circumstantial and situational in my opinion. But I agree with the fact you should never feel obliged. We'll end it with that. Okay, the third one is don't believe anyone who says you can't orgasm. Okay, like who's saying that? I mean, I know people that are in like their mid 20s that I swear to God, I can just tell they've never came from riding a dick or anything. Some people are like, how do you come when you're on top? People ask me that all the time, like, how do you finish when you're on top? I'm like, you're doing it wrong. And guys will say like that's like their least favorite position because they're selfish assholes. But trust me, just like disregard any of that. And I would say hop on top if you can't finish.
What are the characteristics of someone that you can tell they've never...
You can just tell, like I could just tell the characteristics of someone that's never like had an orgasm before. I was so keen to like clock into this when I was in college because it was a big topic of conversation like between the girlies in college because I feel like that's kind of like a sexual awakening period where you either like have had a boyfriend or like you've never had sex in your life before. Like you see a big mix. And a lot of people like I feel like don't have orgasms until their 20s and I feel like that's normal. I figured it out very early on. I don't know why. I consider myself blessed in that realm because I can finish pretty easily. I don't really need to have like a strong emotional connection with someone to be able to like figure that out. I kind of get in my own head and block any other thing that might be blocking an orgasm from happening out and I just make it work. I unblock. I block out the outside noise of intrusive thoughts that maybe would stop me from finishing. I've just figured it out to a science. But I can just tell when a person's like, oh, like sex is nice. Like it feels like good, but like they'd have never had the fireworks explosion that comes through their body when you actually have an orgasm. I feel like that's important to note. But I would say it's different for everyone. And a lot of it has to do with being comfortable, and not everyone is super comfortable with a person until like they're in like a serious relationship or feel like that certain like sexual chemistry with someone in a relationship. I guess it doesn't really even depend on how long you've been with someone for you to like have an orgasm, but it has to do a lot with like the sexual chemistry with someone. Or if the guy knows what he's fucking doing. A lot of these guys don't know what they're fucking doing, especially college age men. You know, that's why I go for the daddies. They're vetted. Okay? This description says, ask your man to stop his thrusting and see if your activity really mirrors to his. Sometimes a guy will just be like pumping it out like a frat boy, and like that doesn't feel good for anyone besides him. And that's some place where I always like kind of felt like awkward saying no, or like maybe switch that up. Like you got to speak up, be vocal when you're having sex with someone, because a man, if he's pumping you like a fucking jackrabbit on speed, tell him to like slow it the fuck down, because that doesn't feel good for girls, in my opinion. You're allowed to not enjoy BJ. I mean, they don't call it a job for no reason. It is like strenuous and can cause whiplash, I guess. I mean, like, I feel like every guy makes you feel like you have to like suck his dick. I don't mind it. I actually find it's like an artwork. It's an art form of mine. I think I'm pretty good at it. You can like add your own personality to it, a little spice. It's almost like a theatrical, you know, little act I have, and I look forward to doing it. But like I've said in previous episodes, I have oral fixation, so things like sucking dick, it really brings some sort of peace to me. And I also love when I'm giving a guy head and like he's so enjoying it, that makes me feel good. But not everyone likes sucking dick. I honestly feel like most people don't, right? Also, a lot of people don't like swallowing what's going on in there, but like it's a source of protein. That's how I look at it. I don't think it like adds or subtracts to a quality of a blowjob, whether you like swallow or not. I really only swallow like when I'm prompted, but I mean, I don't mind giving head. So I feel like I'm on like the short end of the stick here, maybe not the majority consensus in this opinion. But yeah, I agree with the fact that you're allowed to like not enjoy it. If you don't want to like suck your guy's dick, I mean, like you don't have to do anything you want. Like it's free will out here. It says certainly a woman is entitled to have a simple distaste for the smell, the consistency, or the act of receiving semen in her mouth without any complex emotional difficulty being involved to explain her reluctance. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't taste like a fucking like strawberry shortcake. It doesn't taste great, but I don't think it tastes horrible unless it does. And then like we have a problem. He should go to urgent care. It's okay to not like sucking dick. I don't like to do it in the morning because my mouth's dry and like who likes to do anything in the morning, to be honest. Number 5, the key to getting better sex. The most crucial aspect of sex is talking. I do agree with this. I love a guy that will talk you through it. That always helps. Do you crave intercourse or cuddling? Are you satisfied after 1 or 2 orgasms? Or do you want more? I want as many as I can possibly have before my neck breaks. And also, that's true.
That's great.
Do you crave intercourse or cuddling? I actually don't crave cuddling at all. I feel like that involves too much like feelings and emotion. Like if I were to just like want to like hook up with someone, no strings attached, please don't cuddle me. It's just so bright in here. It's making me insane. I like can't even read.
But your skin looks incredible.
It's true. We urge you to allow yourself and your partner to start and stop intercourse freely, taking plenty of time for foreplay and afterplay experiments. I do this all the time. I feel like when I hook up with someone, I mean, I hooked up with someone last week and I feel like it's intervals of either like you don't want to be getting ravaged the whole time. Oh my God, I would break. My cervix would be like bleeding out. I don't want to be cut in half like a fucking tree. No, you want to take breaks, do the foreplay, maybe a little oral, maybe a little pillow talk, maybe a little blah, blah, blah. Maybe get a mirror involved. I got a mirror involved last week and I found that very intriguing and I would do that again. Just like spice it up a little bit. But I feel like if you're getting pounded from behind the whole time, who's got the time? Who's got the energy? Like, I don't want to do that. It says here, stop counting climaxes. I mean, I feel like a guy can really only have one big one unless they're like really impressive. I feel like they need like an hour of downtime minimum. But I feel like for a girl, once you finish, like they keep building and building and keep getting better if you're doing it right. So I feel like girls can have as many orgasms as possible, which is amazing for us. And I feel like we deserve that W. But for guys, I feel like they need the breaks in between for it to be like successful on both ends. All right, number 6, don't let stressing about an orgasm ruin the fun. All right, the more you think about like the finish line, the farther away it's going to be there, because I feel like once you get in your head about experiencing or like the orgasm in the future, I feel like the more tense you get. The key to an orgasm is not tensing up. It's like the complete opposite. You want to be fully relaxed, like literally fully relax every fucking muscle in your body and don't get in your head about it and just focus on like what you're doing with the person or focus what you're feeling. But I feel like if you think about like, oh, like I'm not like feeling it coming on, you're not going to get it. It's just going to like postpone it, if anything. So I agree with that. Stop stressing about it. I feel like recently when I'm having sex, I can only really finish with like a vibrator. Probably because I don't care about these people. I like need like a battery to like bring me across the finish line, but I rarely can finish on my back, rarely, and I can rarely just finish from penetration. People that can just finish from penetration, I want to interview you, because like what? That makes no sense to me. That's like a talent. That's like a hidden talent that I didn't know you could. I didn't know you could do that until someone was explaining it to me like not too long ago. Number 7, when he doesn't want sex, but you do, they say, don't let sex degenerate into a mechanical routine. If you normally make love at home, plan a rendezvous after work in a plush hotel. Make love in the rain, in a taxi, in a haystack, whatever turns you on. I would actually suggest you don't make love in a haystack because of all like the hay. That sounds so uncomfortable. I think the message here is to spice it up when you feel like sex has become a mechanical routine. If he doesn't want sex but you do, I mean, I've dealt with this before, but
This description though is like trick him Like,
Yeah.
make him horny by taking him to a haystack.
But like having sex in a taxi, is that what they were doing back in the day?
Yeah, vintage.
That is, I don't know if that's legal anymore. I feel like what they're trying to say is if you feel like your man's like kind of losing like the spice it up, like add a little like change of scenery. And hotel sex is always fun. Like, I feel like hotels are built for sex. If you're not having sex in a hotel and you're like with your partner or spouse, I feel like something is going on that's a little deeper because like, why wouldn't you? Like, you don't even have to clean up afterwards or change your sheets. Like, you should be fucking. Okay, number 8, putting the lust back into your loving. 15 minutes of foreplay, the average for married couples, is not enough, says therapist Morton Sunshine. That's a crazy fucking name. The skin is our largest organ. It needs a lot of stimulation to come fully alive. Perhaps with an edible oil or lotion. Helps you a blindfold. I mean, I do feel like evoking the 5 senses is very important because if you like take one sense away, it like heightens the other one. So like for instance, if you're blindfolded, it like adds the elements of touch and smell and taste and all those things. And I think that does heighten a sexual experience. You know, that's why people love getting blind. I mean, I love getting blindfolded when I'm having sex. The element of surprise is also fun too. Yeah, the sensual massage. I've watched a lot of massage room porn. Like, I get it. Like, it makes sense to me. Perhaps with an edible oil. No, not an edible oil. I don't know how I feel about edible oils. I mean, I do like put like a bunch of lube on dick before I give head. I feel like that is like my secret sauce to a good blowjob is like lathering their dick up with lube. But it has to be water-based and not silicone-based because we don't want UTIs out here. Like if you're going to have sex afterwards and it is silicone-based, you're going to get a UTI. Well, me personally, I will get a UTI. Water-based is much more organic, better for your body. You just lather that shit up with lube and it will just feel like the sloppiest top they've ever gotten their whole entire life. But yeah, I guess an edible oil would fall into that category. I don't know. I've done like the ice cube thing before, which I feel like a lot of people have done, where you like put ice in your mouth and like give someone head. I don't like doing that. And honestly, I feel like it's good for them for like a second because it's like an element of shock on something that's very sensitive. But then like, I feel like it would do the complete opposite effect. I feel like they would shrivel up. And that's just like so much work. I don't want to fucking brain freeze while I'm already like straining my neck trying to like give this guy the best top of his life. I don't like love too much foreplay, but like enough where like I'm not like dry like a haystack, you know? What do you think, Marshall?
Well, I think that these 8 tips are like really kind of bad.
Yeah.
I agree with some of them. I mean, I'm glad we went over it, but like times have changed, obviously.
I mean, I get like the points they're trying to make in some of these. Like the essence of like the message is coming across.
But like the writing in the Shakespeare is
the Shakespearean writing and like
not working.
It's not working for me.
You should tell us about like what's going on with your TikTok and why are you shadow banned?
I have been shadow banned. And I don't know if because my content's been reflecting like my mental state because I've been just like like kind of just like dragging my feet kind of energy. But also I just feel like I have ops on TikTok. Like people are reporting me. I'll go live and I'll get banned like fucking clockwork. Or I'll post a video and it'll get taken down like right away. Like it'll be under content review. I'm emailing my TikTok manager or I'm texting her and she will ghost me. It's like TikTok's against me right now and I don't know why. But I was shadow banned for a little bit. I just say a lot of things that maybe might be against community guidelines. You know, some things I talk about on here maybe don't hit the same. Like, grow up, TikTok. Honestly, this can't be clipped because they're gonna fucking shadow ban me again. But like, they need to grow up and like get a fucking sense of humor. But yeah, I feel like I've been trying to force myself to travel as much as possible for work stuff. Or just like for fun stuff. You know, I was in LA a few weeks ago, which I feel like I needed for my fucking head. And I had a great time out there. I might go to Power Slap next week, which is like a UFC kind of event. And I want to bring my brothers. It's basically where they slap the fuck out of each other, like their faces. And you try to just like stand up. It's the dumbest shit, but my brothers think it's really cool. And I like want to be able to bring them to like something like that. You just like slap people across the face and they wear a mouth guard and they have like people behind them and like you catch them essentially from behind because like a lot of people get like knocked the fuck out and apparently it's like this big event And my brothers were like, that's sick. And they like reached out to me and I was like, you know what? Fuck, I want to go now. It's trip to Vegas. And it would be nice to like, I haven't been to Vegas in a fucking minute. I mean, probably good for my body, but I kind of miss it. I could use another Vegas trip.
You like Vegas?
I love Vegas.
I think it's like faux luxury.
I feel like every time I'm in Vegas, it is kind of faux luxury, but I also feel like I'm in a snow globe. Like it doesn't feel like real world. Like you feel like nothing's real and like you could like get shade. Like you're like in a fucking snow globe. Even if you look at the sky, the air feels different. I don't know. Every time I've gone out there, I've been in a situation where like the red carpet's kind of rolled out for us and it's like probably the best situations of being in Vegas. I've never really gone on a whim or like a girls trip that wasn't like supported by a rich man, you know? Like I don't even think I've flown commercial to Vegas ever in my life. That sounds dicky to say, but like it's the honest truth. Like I don't think I would ever live in Las Vegas. It's beautiful weather though, and beautiful like a lot of things, but I wouldn't move there. These lights are actually like the worst thing in my eyes. I might need to put my sunglasses on.
We can get them.
You guys have no idea how fucking bright it is in here. Like it makes me feel like I'm fucking hammered. I'm not kidding. Like production produced too hard because there's 3 massive fucking lights in my face and I literally feel strung out now. I think we can wrap this segment up about talking about, I mean, you asked me about my roster. Guys, my roster right now is just completely lackluster. It's doomed. It's anticlimactic in more ways than one. It's just very underwhelming and meek, I guess. You would think in New York City, you would be able to like go out and just find one guy. I don't even need a guy that's like emotionally available. I want like an emotionally unavailable guy that is good at some, like he doesn't even have to be like a stallion in the bedroom. Like I know what I'm doing. He just has to be like 70% there and then I'll like bring us across the finish line. But you'd think in this massive fucking city of New York, I could find at least one man that would be willing to fill those shoes. Like, I don't even want to have a summer party. Like, I need you for like an hour and a half and like, that's it. It's just like, I'm on the dating apps. I'm not on Hinge. I refuse to reactivate my Hinge account. I'm just like scared of Hinge. I don't know why. I have Raya, but I honestly think Raya is like AI generated now, if that makes sense. I don't even think half these fucking people are real. And the other half are like not straight. I swear to God. They keep feeding me the same guy. The same men that I've said no to a million times. I'm like, stop feeding me. I mean, they're like kind of giving twink energy, if anything. And like, I love my twinks, but like, I don't need them when I'm swiping right. Like, I don't understand what's going on with my algorithm on Raya, but it's all we're working with. I mean, it also could have to do with like, it being the dead of winter, lack of serotonin. I think my vagina needs a Lexapro, honestly. I think my vagina is depressed, if anything. Like, it's just been a meek fucking winter. Speaking of twinks, someone had asked me the other day, like, why do you attract so many, like, gay men in your orbit? Because I feel like I'm either for the gays or for the girls. Like, I've so many, like, gay males in my life. I love my gay men. Like, I love them so much. Like, when I think of Graydon, you know what I want a lavender marriage with Graydon. Like I sometimes look at him, I'm like, he's my soulmate. He's like the most perfect person. I love being around him. We show each other such like mutual respect. I respect his opinions about me. I think when you take out the penetration, which is why like I love my gay men, like there's a beauty to it. I feel like they're also like cleaner, easier to be around. Like straight men just can piss me the fuck off sometimes, you know? I don't know if I like particularly believe in like platonic relationships between like a straight man and a straight girl. I just like never trust straight men's intentions ever. Like I'm like, what are you thinking? Like what's going on in your head? You know, with gay men, you can just like eliminate that element of like suspicion or like being suspect or like, what are your intentions with me? It's just like a giggly, happy friendship. I don't know why I attract so many gay men though. I do attract a lot of gay men.
You do. I also have noticed that. Me.
Yeah, I mean, even production's gay.
If you and Graydon were living together, like
Mm-hmm.
under one roof, who would like assume what roles?
If me and Graydon were living together under one roof, I think he would be the cooker and the cleaner. I think I would be like the one laying my dick down. I don't know. I think I would be the problem if we lived together. I don't think he could live with me. He's like so clean and squeaky clean. And I'm kind of more, less I'm like clean and OCD, but he would have a field day with my fucking fridge. Like I like lose like the caps to things all the time and I can't find a lot of things. I'm a little more scatterbrained because of my ADHD. I don't think he could tolerate any of that. And I also don't have like a cooking bone in my body. Like I think I can make pasta and toast and like that's about it. So he would have to be cooking us our meals. And he does that for me anyways, but I'm trying to think about something positive I would provide if we lived together. I mean, I would provide him
Vibes.
like the vibes, the plan, where to go out to dinner, maybe a little giggle and a chuckle. Maybe some like back scratches, even though he like doesn't like to be touched by me. Like sometimes I like try to like we'll be sharing a bed and I'll like roll over thinking he's like maybe a random man I've brought back and he'll be like, bitch, get the fuck off of me. He'll like will separate us with like a pillow. Which I get, but like sometimes I need like a little hug from Grady, but whatever. He's gonna like watch this episode and be like, "What? Why are you like hitting on me?" What else? What
Are
else do
you
we
more
talk
like
about?
touchy feely than people would expect?
I'm like a pretty big physical touch person.
Yeah.
I would say that I am pretty touchy. My love language, I feel like, is physical touch. Like, I don't really give a fuck about acts of service. I do give a fuck about quality time, but like, my biggest thing is probably physical touch. Like, I need to, like, touch is validation to me, which sounds horrible coming out of my mouth, but like, I know someone's interested if like, like their hands on my thigh or I just like need that. Even with like my girlfriendships, I'm like constantly like touching my girlfriends. Is that normal?
I think that is normal.
No, I feel like that's like normal. I feel like girls are always touching each other.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
maybe in like kind of a sus way.
Well, and it's way more normalized and even like encouraged by straight men. And like, for like women to.
You mean straight men encourage girls to touch each other like that?
Yeah.
I mean, I would say, yeah, no shit. But I just feel like girls, I don't know. Maybe it's just a girly pop thing.
What's like a conventionally unattractive quality that you find attractive?
Oh, I'd love a mullet and like a mustache. Is that like conventionally unattractive? I mean, I feel like it depends like what era or generation you are. Like I'll like point out a man to my mom and be like, Mom, that guy, look at his fucking mustache. And mullet, she'd be like, that's disgusting. Like, get that 70s porn star mustache off his face. Like, I feel like it triggers like a certain generation being like, oh, that's like so 70s porn star. But I feel like for like our generation, it's like hot. Maybe that's like too in right now for our generation. I'm trying to think about something else that might be conventionally unattractive.
What did you think about Rap Boy Summer?
What's Rap Boy Summer?
This last summer, the Rap Boys were like the most popular kind of category of like hot men. So we're talking like Timothy Chalamet, Joshua O'Connor, Mike Feist. Like people were like thirsting over them, but they all kind of give the same like rap boy energy.
Wait, I like don't think they're hot.
None of them?
None of them. I mean, I feel like what those men are giving that's less about looks is their like aura. And I think aura is attractive. I like think if a guy's giving like BDE and they're like so comfortable in what they look like, I feel like that's hot in itself. I feel like all those men are super like confident, successful, names.
Like
So I feel
Pete
like
Davidson.
their auras. Pete Davidson's conventionally hot, but he's kind of like not at the same time, like his face. Like I love like is he tall or hot kind of thing, but he's funny. Something I do find maybe that's conventionally unattractive is like kind of like those like kind of giving Pete Davidson-esque where they have like the dark circles kind of vibe and they look kind of like exhausted. I think that's hot. Is that a hot take?
I think that I haven't heard that before, so maybe. I've heard the kind of like you're a chain smoker look is attractive to people.
Yeah.
But so, yeah.
Like kind of like e-boy vibes. Is that okay to say?
Yeah.
The e-boy thing I kind of like understand. There's like a cockiness to e-boys that needs to be studied. That is kind of like attractive in my opinion. Okay, guys, let's get into some of your submitted questions. I get so many of these in my DMs, and half of them crack me the fuck up because you guys are like little sickos, and I appreciate that. With my full fake chest, I appreciate the sickness in my DMs. Also, a lot of questions. So we're going to like go through some of my favorites. I feel like this is something I want to like incorporate every week if I can. Also, I feel like it's fun to do with, especially when there's guests on, but I love to do it like solo with you guys. So like, let's have some fun with this and like, let's just go through them and see what we're thinking. How to not feel shame or guilt around people judging you for sleeping around. Whoever's judging you for that, like, who the fuck cares? Like, I really don't think that it's none of their fucking business. If you want to sleep around and be the biggest slut, be the biggest slut you can be. Who are they to judge? They sound like fucking weird prudes. I just feel like there's a stigma from getting with people and like, you know, sleeping around. But if that's your prerogative and that's what you feel like you want to do right now, power to ya. We all go through those phases. Like, no one's better than anyone else. If they want to be prude, like, we don't judge the prudes. I don't judge any prude in my life ever. If they want to be prude, let them be prude. Like, I don't think it's that deep. I cannot get over my ex from high school. We literally still talk, and I'm a junior in college. Girl, we've all been there. But I feel like if you're, college is weird because, you know, a lot of people leave high school still in relationships or they break up with their high school relationships, not because like the love ended there, but because it was probably just not, you felt like you had to be single for college, and you should be. I think in my opinion, you should be single for college. Or you guys are just too far apart and just didn't work, but there's not like a lack of love there. So I do understand people dwelling on their high school relationships. I also did that well into my college experience with my high school boyfriend, but I think that mainly has to do with an aspect of feeling comfortable and safe. You're familiar with this person, you feel safe with this person. I think about it like this, like if you don't like close one door, you have no idea what other doors might be able to open. It's so much easier said than done ending a chapter, but with every end to a chapter, there's a new chapter. I wholeheartedly believe in that. So I feel like it's relatable, you know, if you're like still like hung up on your high school ex-boyfriend. But don't be your own worst enemy and don't get in the way of your own self from experiencing new things or new people because you're just like hung up with this one person. But I get it. Like, who am I to talk? I was fucking my ex until I was a junior as well. How to tell a guy I'm hooking up with / hopefully date that I don't like butt stuff. Parentheses, he tried before. Just tell me you don't like butt stuff. Like, does he like butt stuff? Like, try fisting his asshole and see how he likes it. Like, and he'll probably be like, I don't like it. If you don't like something, like, speak up for yourself. You don't have to like everything, or just because someone prefers something doesn't mean you have to prefer it either. Like, communication, especially when it comes to anything sexual or intimate, you have to have like a very strong line of communication. He's not gonna like hate you if you don't like getting like fisted in the ass. And if he does, then he's not the fucking one. And we got to get rid of him and do better. How to get a man to leave you. 10 years with him, he won't leave. Bitch, just tell me to get the fuck out. Change the keys. Change the fucking lock. I don't understand. He won't leave? I mean,
are they married?
Yeah, I have more questions for you. Like, are you married? Is there like a child involved? Is he bedridden? Like, I'm confused why this man won't leave if you've asked him to. I call the police. I'm kind of worried about you. Like, wait, what? I hope he's paying rent because that would be fucking insane. I even find it complex trying to figure out how to get a man to leave my apartment after I've hooked up with them. Like, I just think about like having an emergency the next day. But if you're living with someone, I fear you may need to get a third party involved, whether that be a family member or, you know, the police. I don't understand. This sounds like a toxic and messy situation. Yeah, but I wish you the best. What would you do if your boyfriend was flirting with his coworker and didn't see an issue with it? I would cut his fucking dick off. I don't believe in harmless flirting. I think that it's a crime against humanity. But I'm also like one of those girlfriends where like I think I'm a jealous girlfriend. Not like an insecure one, but like don't fucking flirt or make eyes with my man. If that's my man, like you better be looking at the fucking floor. And maybe that's an insecurity talking, but I'm gonna die on that hill. I don't like harmless flirting. I don't believe in it at all. If he doesn't see an issue with it, okay, but if you see an issue with it, that's all that should matter because it's hurting your feelings and he should respect that. So tell him to fucking buck up and stop flirting with his fucking coworker. How to get attention from guys when you're out? I don't know. Sometimes I am either doing the most or like doing nothing at all. But like maybe I'm doing something wrong because I am single. Let's remember that. But I feel like eye contact is really important and also not standing with your arms crossed. I learned that like if you're standing with your arms crossed like this, then like there's like an energy block. Someone taught me that and now I walk around with my full fucking fake chest out. Also, wear like a low cut top. Like have your titties out. That always gets a guy's attention, in my opinion. I also think it's like hot when a girl goes up to a guy. We're always like waiting for men to approach us. I don't believe in that anymore. I think we can like approach men now because they're fucking pussies and they won't do it themselves. So we got to make the first move. Okay, fine. But you know, men don't approach women at bars anymore. It's fucking weird. I don't know what's happening or what's in the water here, but you know, women are carrying all the, like we're doing all the heavy lifting now. It's fucked up. So if you see a hot guy, go up to him and say, "Hi, I'm here. Where the fuck have you been? Kind of like this guy. Kind of want to stop sleeping around. Should I just fuck him anyways? Period." Yes. I mean, if you kind of like him, okay, I get what you're saying. But I feel like these two things don't have correlation. In my head, I would be like, okay, how do I know I like this guy if I don't keep sleeping with him? Have you not slept with him yet? I'm confused. My whole thought on sex is if you want to fuck him, and he wants to fuck you, do it. I don't believe in all these time perimeters. It's weird to me. I don't think any of it matters. And none of it matters. If a guy likes you, he's going to show you. And he's going to know it probably within the first like 10 minutes of like hanging out with you. I like truly believe that. It's all about timing. If a guy like doesn't reciprocate, it could be like, you know, he's not ready for that and like his frontal lobe's not developed. There's a lot of factors that go into place. But timing, location. Anyways, next question. My boyfriend comes too quick and it pisses me off. It pissed me off too, queen. Usually when a guy finishes too quickly and I get mad about this, I pull out a vibrator while he's like lying there like with cum all over him and I'll like finish myself off right in front of him. It'll emasculate the shit out of him and it'll show him that you're pissed off and then he'll like know not to do that next time. And it works like a charm. They also think it's like kind of hot, but they also kind of feel like, fuck, I didn't do my job here. Thoughts on men in relationships following tons of model / half naked girls. I can already tell by like this message, like how old this guy probably is. I feel like this is a very like college-esque thing to do. We can't post college. I think it's so JV if a guy is following Instagram baddies online and they have like a serious girlfriend. I get like watching porn and you can do that on your like own time, but there's no need to be following Instagram baddies online. I feel like it's kind of cringe to me. But also, this is the issue with Instagram baddies. A lot of the Instagram baddies that your boyfriends are probably following, these pictures are so highly edited in my opinion. I mean, just from like the OG Instagram baddie days, I remember these pictures just like so highly edited. I feel like it desensitizes guys from thinking this should be like the ideal. And I think porn does this too, but porn's a little different. I just think it's, yeah, more so embarrassing, a slight red flag, but I don't think it's a deal breaker. At the end of the day, I feel like if he's following these baddies, he probably has always been following these baddies. If he starts commenting though, we're waving red flags because that's fucking weird. And also like it's giving fan behavior.
This person said, I'm texting a guy in another city and I want him to be obsessed with me. Advice. I feel like they're kind of asking, like, how do you play, like, the text flirting game?
Texting in another city. Well, I feel like texting's one element. I feel like FaceTiming's also important, especially in the beginning stages of relationships. I feel like a little bit of a cat and mouse game is important. Like, you want to seem interested, but then you want to pull away. And then you want to seem interested, and then you want to pull away again. You also don't want to be the first, like, always, you don't want to ever, I don't really believe in, like, the guy always has to text you first necessarily, but I also think it's really important that you don't respond too quickly. Like you're not waiting on your phone for a text from this man. I think like a healthy layer of flirtation. I also am a big sexter, and I feel like sexting's amazing, but like you don't want to go overboard with it unless you initiate it and he's like into it. I don't know, like be a busy person. I would say don't be like waiting on your phone. Go about your day and kind of like, I don't do the full like, I'm never one to like text anyone all day. I'm not a big texter, but kind of give like little updates, small conversation, little updates. Also don't intentionally be like, oh, I'm going to wait until like 9 p.m. tonight to reply. Don't be super intentional. If you're genuinely busy, he's going to feel that through the phone. I feel like it's so, transparent when you're trying to be intentional about being like too chill and too coy and like I'm gonna wait X amount of hours to reply to this text, or I'm gonna like send like a little short text. I don't think any of that matters. Just act like you're genuinely like going about your day and like this person is also not consuming all of your brain power. Like you have other shit to do. Like you're a girl boss. Like we're getting shit done during the day. I'll text you when I can. And I feel like that's how you get a guy to fall in love with you. Yeah. Okay, guys, that was a fun little silly solo episode. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Again, this episode will be available to watch on YouTube. Comment, like, subscribe. Also, it's available to listen on all the platforms. But thank you guys so much. I love you all so very much, my little freaks. Goodbye. Bye.